Welcome back, mobile gamers, to this quick teardown of the 5 mobile games I played last week here on the channel, spending less than 1 minute per game. And this week, I've got some real treats for you fine folk, from a humorous retro action platformer to a payday-like single-player heist game, an action RPG hero collector, a real-time 1 vs 1 multiplayer real-time strategy game, and lastly, an arcade racing game where we attach rockets to snow sleds. Yes, literally, it's quite exciting. So I hope you're ready, because then let's jump right into the games. Armed Heist is a new single-player, mission-based, third-person heist game where we rob banks and take down the police standing between us and our escape car. Although the game is admittedly a lot of cover shooting, the gameplay is fun, and I really enjoyed spending considerable time customizing the over 30 weapons we unlock by trying on different weapon attachments that each have their pros and their cons. There's no waiting for upgrades, no energy system, and the only wait time is for chests to open, which is how we unlock new weapons, skins, attachments, masks, and even bulletproof vests. In-app purchases will allow us to unlock these chests faster, but as the game is strictly single player, it doesn't make the game feel unfair. The game requires a constant online connection, it takes up 1.34 GB of space, it's out both on Android and on iOS, and my final verdict is that you should definitely play it if you enjoy single player third-person shooter games. Command & Conquer Rivals is an intense real-time strategy multiplayer 1 vs 1 PvP game, where we deploy buildings and units to fight over the control of 3 zones on a small map. Controlling the majority of the zones will slowly have a missile warm up and then eventually fire, which will take 50% of the opponent's base HP. Seasoned Command & Conquer players might not like the simplicity of the game in comparison to its PC counterpart, but as a standalone mobile title, the more intense gameplay does pretty well, with the strategy then lying in picking which units to take with us into battle and figuring out how to best counter the opponent's units and their strategy. Much like in a game like Clash Royale, for example, new units are unlocked and leveled up by collecting enough cards that are rewarded through loot boxes, both free and paid, or through advancing in the PvP ranks. The in-app purchases makes it possible to progress much faster, but EA does have very big plans for an esports scene built up around this game, having hired the person who built the Vainglory esports program. So let's see if they can figure out the right balance in terms of monetization and pay-to-winness. The game requires online access to be played, it takes up 381 MB of space, it's out both on Android and on iOS, and my final verdict is that although I actually genuinely enjoyed the game, you should only consider playing it, as I really do not trust EA anymore. But do let me know what you think about EA in the comment section below this video. GrandChase is a high-quality action RPG hero collector based on the 2003 side-scrolling MMORPG of the same name. There are 70 heroes to unlock, but luckily all of them can be upgraded from 1 stars to 6 stars, meaning that even if you're very unlucky with your pulls, it's still possible to eventually get good heroes. During combat, we tap to move our team around in the 2.5D world, using a tap and swipe mechanic to dodge hordes of enemies, and drag and drop to fire skills, a bit like in a MOBA, at the right time to complete each 2 to 3 minute level. There's an auto move feature that I, to my very big surprise, actually quite liked, but I would avoid the auto combat feature as it's just horrible, which frankly is a good thing, as RPGs with auto combat tend to become really boring. The game's soundtrack are very enjoyable, and with lots of content such as campaign, trial towers, PvP, dimensional bosses, and even a hero's tower, and much more, the only thing that might keep you away from this game is the gacha system that does allow paying players to unlock heroes faster. There's no energy system though, and there isn't any VIP system either, and the monetization overall feels less forced than in your average gacha game. The game requires online access, it will set you back 1.54 GB of space, it's available both on Android and on iOS, and my final verdict is that you should definitely play it, especially if you like action-based RPG hero collectors, as this one, in comparison to its competitors, at least provides a much more interesting level design and combat. Animal Adventure Downhill Racing is a lovely indie level-based arcade game with a low-poly art style and beautiful scenery, where we, and hold on here guys, we control a reindeer on a sled as we glide down a mountain, avoiding cars, moose, huge snowballs, and other type of just, ordinary obstacles along the way. So to help us actually finish these 150 levels that each have 3 different difficulty levels, we have a wide range of power-ups, from the usual stuff like a magnet to freaking explosive rockets, all of which are unlocked through loot boxes and then upgraded using presents that we collect in-game, which is the game's currency. There's no energy system, lots of customization options for our sled and animal, and more loot boxes can be bought through in-app purchases. The game can be played offline, it takes up 192 MB of space, it's out on Android and soon hopefully coming to iOS as well, and my final verdict is that you should check it out if you enjoy beautiful low-poly art indie games. Soul Chase is a 2D action-adventure platformer with NES-like retro pixel art and challenging gameplay that has us replay levels over and over and over again until we eventually figure out how to avoid all the obstacles, moving platforms, enemies, and the boss fights. What's unique about Soul Chase is its great humor and intense focus on speed, caused by the fact that the goal of the game is not to get to a finish line at the end of the level, but rather to catch the soul that has escaped our body before it reaches the end of the level. So I guess for once the game's name actually makes sense, because we are indeed chasing souls, our own soul in this case. The game's unique monetization model provides us with a free coin doubler as long as we play with an internet connection and thus get shown ads between deaths, and incentivized ads that can be disabled for free in the settings. Yes, you heard that right, they can be disabled in the settings for free. The game can be played offline, takes up only 98 megabytes of space, is sadly only out on Android for now, but my final conclusion is that if you have an Android device, you should definitely give it a go, as it's my favorite game of the week, and I can almost guarantee you that you'll like this game if you enjoy old school gameplay. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I really appreciate that you decided to stick around. Let me know which game was your favorite, and until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.